Hi, I'm Dr. Ganesh from Army College of Dental Sciences. I am here to demonstrate how to carve a mandibular first molar. I have a wax block marked with crown and root lengths. Crown length of the tooth is 7.5 mm. The root length is 14 mm. Mesiodistally it is 11 mm and buccolingually 10.5 mm. These teeth are clinically significant because they are the first to erupt into the oral cavity and are more susceptible to caries. I start by making the outline either on mesial or distal aspect. Because I am adept at carving, I am removing wax aggressively. I would recommend that beginners do this step more carefully. The height of contour on the buccal side is in the gingival third. On the lingual side, it is on middle third. If you are carving this tooth for the first time, I would recommend you to keep the outlines of the crown slightly big. The excess wax can always be removed later. The shape of crown now resembles a hexagon. I now proceed to round off the line angles. I have realized that by making the cervical constriction first, I find the rest of the crown easier to make. I now start with the occlusal carving, but before that, I make a rough outline of buccal cusps and I slightly deepen them. It provides a roadmap for the occlusal carving. The shape of crown when seen from the top view should be pentagonal in shape. It is five-sided and it has four grooves. The central groove is not straight but runs down the center of the tooth mesially to distally and contains four pits. I make a rough outline of the central fossa and in doing so, I establish the cusp height in both the buccal and lingual cusp. Now, establishing the prominence of lingual cusps. Buccal cusps are flatter than lingual cusps. A noteworthy point is that the buccal cusp tips are slightly lingually placed. Students have a difficulty in making cusp slopes. So, I would urge you to watch this part carefully. I imagine the middle point between the two lingual cusps and remove wax in a triangular fashion, with the deepest point being towards the center. Thus, the cusp lobes are automatically formed. I similarly proceed for the buccal cusps. Now, I proceed to refine the occlusal anatomy and deepen the grooves. The viewer is requested to refer dental anatomy textbook. The occlusal aspect at this point looks something like this. An important but cumbersome task is making the triangular fossas. I try and accomplish this by emphasizing all the other slopes and ridges around it. I take a point approximately 1 mm away from the marginal ridge and proceed to deepen the point. You can also imagine that this deepest proximal point as the apex of a pyramid and with the marginal ridge and cusp slopes as its three sides. This is how the tooth looks from buccal, lingual, mesial, distal, and occlusal surface. The difficult task of making the root is done best by removing the wax with the wax block resting firmly on the Macintosh sheet. At this stage, the tooth looks something like this: buccal, lingual, distal, and mesial. I ensure the root and crown portion are properly polished before I bifurcate the root. The chances of root breaking are more if polishing is done after the root is bifurcated. To start the bifurcation, mark a thin line in the middle of root when seen from the buccal or lingual aspect. Proceed to deepen this line. Now you see me removing wax from the lingual aspect. I deepen the screw from the lingual side halfway and then later from the buccal side till both ends meet. Now all I need to do is to make the bifurcation more prominent and then refine the roots. In case the apical third is too thick, carefully remove the wax so as to ensure easy bifurcation of the roots. Here you see me refining the root. Note how I am carefully supporting the wax while I am carving the root. Here the finishing of root is almost complete. The carving looks nice if there is a clear demarcation between the crown and root. The carving is now complete. This is the buccal, lingual, mesial, distal, and occlusal surface of the tooth.